Hello, I'm Lesley Logan, and today we're doing elephant on the reformer. I'm also going to give you tips on how to feel like you're actually closing the spring from the right spot and not accidentally doing it from your arms or your hip flexors or any of that kind of stuff. All right, so elephant is really like esoteric and kind of amorphous. I know it's considered a beginner exercise, but to be really honest, I think it's a really tricky exercise, especially for a beginner because your center is against gravity. So it's just a little kind of weird, right? So when I give this to a newbie, I am more looking to see if I can get them to keep their center engaged against gravity, and I'm not really worried about what's kind of happening. But we'll kind of go over that as we do this. You're gonna do this on 2 springs. It's typically done after upstretch. So if you're doing upstretch or upstretch combo, you finish where you are, you slide your heels down. Or you just step onto this. But what I want you to be mindful of is it's really easy to go into this down dog situation. Elephant is literally your double straight leg stretch upside down. So I want you to get 50% of your weight in your arms and 50% of your weight in your legs. And then feel as if you're doing your hundreds curl here. So your head is down between your arms and your low ribs are lifting up as if you curled off the mat. Now be mindful that you don't just pull your shoulders and your ears. They should feel like they're on their back. So I'm also pulling this bar apart. I feel like my hands are pulling it apart. My center is lifted. My heels are reaching down a lot. This reformer is a Contrology reformer, and I really like to dig my heels into it because there's actually space there. You can lift your toes, but I tend to see that people won't dig their heels, but they can lift their toes. So I try to dig my heels so much my toes come off. And then you keep your low ribs in the front lifting up without, again, shoulders in your ears. And then you just push the legs back and you pull the carriage in. Now make sure as you pull the carriage in that you're not moving your whole body forward, whole body back. So your arms stay, your legs can go out as far as your low ribs can lift up without your shoulders coming in your ears. And you'll do 5 to 10 of those before you go into the single leg. Now, again, it's really easy to go here and do it like this, right? It's not a snake. Nothing is changing. Your whole center is staying together, and I really need you to feel that reach. Not only is that going to stretch the back of your legs, it's going to challenge your front. And if you're trying to do things like teaser, overhead exercises, boomerang, anything like that, you need to be able to pull this in as you move the legs. That's going to just help you in all those overhead exercises, which is why I think elephant is taught in the beginning, because one, it takes our whole lifetime to do it. 2, it really does help us get ready for things that are a little bit more difficult, more advanced, more complicated, more compound exercises. If you're watching this because you have a reformer deck of flashcards, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're using them. Definitely check out the single leg version after this. I'll show that in a different video, but it's a really fun challenge to do. Also though, if you are noticing that you can't do some of those overhead exercises, this is a really good one to put in place of those, because if you can keep your upper body still, if you can keep your center engaged and you can move your legs without losing connection to this, it's really going to make things that are, if you take this elephant card and flip it over, overhead, short spine, some of the headstands even, it's going to make those all more possible for you. So don't underestimate the power of this elephant. Really make sure that you're not pulling the carriage closed with your quads. I know it's tricky. I'm a runner. I hear you. And if you have questions about how this exercise can really help fulfill some of those other ones, you're like, oh, Les, I totally agree, but I'm not feeling it, then check out onlinepilatesclasses.com, where we do life better.